Hello all, this is Nicola from Peace of Mind Properties, your ethical property management company based in Brighton, East Sussex. Thank you for joining me today. Today we are doing the third video for the Wallasey Naples Road project. This is an investor's video, but if you are not an investor with us or not looking to invest with us, please do stay tuned, because you will find that on all my videos I try to impart some knowledge, some little nuggets of information which will hopefully help you on your own property journey. So before I start, I would like to thank everybody that invests with Peace of Mind Properties and trusts their money with us, and I would especially like to thank the investors for this project. So before we do start, I just want to do a little recap of the first two videos for those that haven't had chance to watch them. So this is a property that was actually bought at auction. We were looking to add some value to this property and then keep it as a rental property. Now, the main thing to consider when you buy at auction or from any other source is how you can add value. Now, there's many ways you can do this, whether it be just a simple modernisation, whether it be the way that the rooms are divided can add value. You could go into the loft, you could do an extension. So there's a multitude of ways. This particular property, we've managed to add value by simply converting part of the front garden into a driveway. It's actually an area where it's a cul-de-sac. Parking is at a premium. It's all on-road parking, so it's very desirable in this area to have some off-road parking. It was an easy win for adding value. On top of that, the property, you probably, if you have seen the earlier videos, needed a lot of modernisation. We did slightly change the room layout, so there was a very small kitchen and a dining room. What we've done is we've just made that for modern day living, and we have knocked that through into a lovely kitchen diner, which you will see later. Now, also, excuse me, recapping the previous two videos, some of the things that I reminded people of is when you're looking to purchase a property, see if there's any grants available. We were lucky with this property, there was grants available. It was an empty property grant because it had been empty for some period of time. Now, we knew this before we went to auction, so we knew to account for that in our figures. So we could have either a £5,000 or a £3,000 grant. Now, the £5,000, the higher grant, meant that we would work with the council on what tenants we would take in. We opted to take the lower grant, which was £3,000, and that's because we like to have complete control of who we put in our properties. And we did also very quickly have an idea of who we wish to place in this property. So that's a good thing to look out for, is grants in your area, which you will tend to find are available often where there's a lot of empty properties. The other thing is, if a property has been empty for over 2 years, which this one had, there is a VAT building control notice 708, which basically means that your suppliers, people who are working on your property, as long as it's not supply only, it is supply and labour, but basically they should only charge you 5% VAT, not the normal 20%. Again, a very good saving and worth knowing. Another quick recap was there was Artex in this property. If there's Artex in any property, it could have asbestos. If you want more details about that, you can look it up, or you can look at my previous, I think, video 2 covers the Artex issue. So make sure any Artex is tested before you do any work on it to make sure there's no asbestos. And also we discussed efflorescence on plaster, which is basically when the plaster has salts in there. Now, there's a lot of arguing of what you can do when there's salts in the plaster. Some people say you can brush it back, you can treat it. What I tend to find is that once the salt's in the plaster, it has a habit of recurring. So my preferred method is just knock it back to brick and replaster, patch it up. You can treat the brick before putting on your plaster to try and stop more salts coming through, but always be aware to let your building breathe. So I think that is most of the recap that I need to do with this one. I'm going to bring up Naples Road. Now, one of the things that you will see is that we haven't done any work on the outside of the property. Now, we've made it watertight, so we have touched any mortar or anything that needed repairing. We've repointed some bricks, because there'd been ivy growing up this property. So the property is watertight, but anything cosmetic we've not done. Now the tenant is aware that this is going to be done in the spring. That's because we did this property over the winter, and that's not the time to be doing external works. But what you will find is people will be accepting of that when they see the quality of the work on the inside, because they can see we are going to look after our properties. We're going to look after them. It's part of our ethics. So without further ado, I'm going to press play on this and talk you through the Naples Road project. So as you can see, we've put in that driveway, very important. Off-road parking is a premium in this area. Where you can see that log roll, it's actually just some shingles to make this real low maintenance. All that ivy has gone, that's been stripped off. Through the brand new front door. So the doors and windows were pretty much paid for by Wirral Council with that empty property grant I told you about. New carpet throughout. So this is the main room that made a big difference. The small kitchen and separate dining room has been knocked through into a lovely big open kitchen diner. A great little living space there for the family. Now the tenant that wanted this property, she actually wanted to ask could she decorate it herself. Now we'd visited her in her home. We've seen how she looks after her properties. She's an ideal tenant for us. And this is her home. It's our property, but it's her home. So we were very happy for her to decorate it. So she's actually picked that feature wall. She wanted white paint throughout. And actually that's a real win for us because it saved us on decorating costs. And as I say, it's made it feel more like her home. We didn't allow her to do the woodwork. We did the woodwork. The main reason being is if woodwork's done incorrectly, it can be a lot of labour and cost to make that good. So we did all the woodwork for her, but she painted the walls and she got somebody to wallpaper. So into the first child's bedroom. This one was literally stripped back, skimmed, and new windows. Through to, you can see the garden. It's a very small garden. So what we've done is we have put fake grass in there and lots of drainage, lots of limestone and granite dust to make sure there's good drainage in that garden. Into the bathroom. Now this bath was on the other wall. There was no room for a shower because you can see that low ceiling. We have moved it to the other side, put in some tiles, made them look a little bit funkier with the way it goes up the wall. You can see we have gone for grey grout and grey ceilings. Discoloration of grout and ceiling is a problem in rented properties. This can make it last a little longer. Also, don't forget separate shower to your bath taps so that if there's any problems, you have a little more time to rectify it. They've still got washing facilities. So as you see, again, she picked the wallpaper in the master bedroom. All those walls were knocked back. Some of those walls were knocked all the way back to brick. They were a thermal insulation membrane and then plasterboarded. It improved the EPC rating of the property. And as you can see, it's a very, very different feel to the first property that we purchased. So I hope you have enjoyed watching that video. And we basically bought this property for £45,000 and we wanted to double the value, which we did. We had 3 valuations from 3 different estate agents coming in at £90,000 and passed that on to the mortgage valuers, and that's helped us get our money back out of the property. There will be a 4th video dedicated purely to the finances for those that are interested. But another little tip, it really is good, worthwhile doing these properties up to a high standard. The tenants get a sense of being cared for. The tenants take a bit more pride in their home. But more importantly, with this particular project, one of the ladies involved in the project, the lady that actually designed the kitchen for us, where she asked to come back once it was all complete and had a look, and she said, I'm in a rented property where my landlord is not looking after me. I would love to rent one of your properties. So again, we've met her in her home, we've seen what type of tenant she is, and she is out looking for us for properties that we can add value to for her to rent from us. So it is a real win-win for us there. Basically, we'll look for properties in the New Brighton area, but also she'll look too. So we got given a 5-star rating for this property. So what that meant was it's a selective licensing area. So by getting that 5-star rating, our selective license was actually reduced in price. So it is worth, like I say, doing these properties to a good standard. And I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about any of your properties that you would like some advice on, please feel free to give us a call. It's 01273 569 100. That's 01273 569 100. If you're interested in investing with us, then you can email us at investors@peaceofmindproperties.co.uk. That's investors@peaceofmindproperties.co.uk. We have on our website a little investors page where these videos are regularly posted so you can see what we're getting up to. Our investors get 8% on their return on their investment, which is much higher than the banks are currently giving you. But also, we do have joint venture partners. So once somebody has invested with us, has built up a relationship with us, then we do also look to do joint ventures with them as well. So please do get in touch if we can be of any assistance. I've been Nicola Peace. This is Peace of Mind Properties. Thank you for listening.